All right, folks. Oh,
Sorry.
God damn it.
Thought I'd try and sneak that one in before we got rolling here. Let's try that again.
Well, yeah, certainly. I mean, it was our fault. We made a mistake. Spotter said it was clear. It wasn't clear, and, you know, I didn't want to tear my car up, tear his car up either. I respect everybody, and I demand respect. And, you know, I apologized to the guy when he came over the car, explained to him what happened, and then he took it to another level when he started calling me an idiot and whatever else. And I don't appreciate that. I'm not going to take it. I told him how I felt. I called him out. He didn't show. You know, and so, you know, I'm good with it if he's good with it, but I'm not going to be disrespected by no means.
Yeah, I guess I had a dinner date at Applebee's last night that I didn't find out about until it was too late. It's a shame. Love their riblets and boneless wings, but...
All right, folks, welcome back to Meet Me at Applebee's, your number one unrefined motorsports podcast. It's Brian here with Rob and Ashley. We are here to talk about the Moonshine Hills of North Wilkesboro and some other stuff. Folks, how are we doing this week?
Doing pretty good. I'm pretty exhausted. Had a couple long days at work, but that's part of life. And looking forward to talking about North Wilkesboro here. I really enjoyed everything I saw this weekend. I got to say that. How about you, True Love? How you feeling?
I'm here. Here I am.
Okay.
Awesome.
I'm good. It's in Nashville in the morning, so my mind is elsewhere right now. So, but yeah, I'm here to talk about SVG and breakfast foods later. So.
Yeah, we'll definitely be talking about that.
Yeah, I can't. Great videos of the week coming up, so make sure you stick around for that.
All right, well, glad you guys liked them because I didn't know how you'd feel about them after I watched them. So
This is perfect.
The breakfast one was A+.
Yes.
So North Wilkesboro, NASCAR returned there. Well, I mean, they've been coming back since 2023, but this is the
official
points race. Yeah, official points race in over 30 years. 96 was the last time. But before that, we had trucks to talk about. There was Cars Tour races, and apparently there's a pisser report. Supposedly, who sent this in?
Yes, that came from Ken Bob, the Yee Man, and my friends just automatically tell me the condition of any bathroom, not just troughs or not. I think we may have, yes, and it actually is valuable information for the listener at home, at least for some of us anyway. But no piss troughs at North Wilkesboro, but I think that's been established. However, we do get the next best thing, which is urinals with no dividers. So that's what's on site.
I'm just trying to remember my experience. Like, I remember, because, we went in 2023 when they first reopened, and I think there was one regular bathroom that was available, but they also had a lot of porta potties set up. Yeah, I don't remember much about my experience. I don't remember any troughs or anything, but yeah, I'm sure I probably used the dividerless urinals at some point.
Yes, who amongst us? Definitely not my favorite standing pissing locale. Those tend to be a little dicey. It's all of the free air, I guess you could say, of a trough.
You love troughs,
but without the pure freedom of selection of being able to get in. You're still waiting in line to show your dick to people, so not my favorite. But anyway, let's talk about the truck race.
I just remember the women's bathroom being freshly remodeled, thankfully, because I ended up puking in it.
Perfect.
Yes, you did.
Oh, and real quick before we get into this, since we're talking about shitters, and we were at Eldora over the weekend. I could say this for the septic tank, but I forgot to put it in the notes. I'm just going to say it now. I have received a report from Kyle Armstrong, who was out there, that the shitter at the St. Henry nightclub, for those of you who may remember, that was just a toilet with no door on it. That when you open the door, you can see the toilet from the bar. A shower curtain has been placed in front of that toilet. So for the first time in 50 years, some sort of privacy for all of you Central Ohio folks who happen to end up at Ohio or just stop into the St. Henry nightclub for a cold beer. So,
well, we should also mention too, speaking of Eldora and bathrooms, friend of the show, Dylan Johns, my kart racing friend from Toledo, he was down there and he sent a report from one of the porta potties, as he called it, the Eldora sauna.
Yeah, boy, that
so
was.
He said it was.
It was biblical the way that was written.
He said he got in there when it was still clean, so he had a pretty good report. But
yeah, it does get hot in those things, I can tell you. Yeah, I just shit at the whistle stop. That's usually what I.
So much bathroom talk straight out of the gate. Our appetizers haven't even hit the table.
Coming in hot. But now that the stage has been set, we were at North Wilkesboro all weekend. Cars Tour was there. We'll talk about that in the actual septic tank, even though it feels like we're in it right now. Trucks and Cup. And unfortunately, I didn't get to watch a second of the truck race.
Neither did I, because I was under the impression that it was a night race. I didn't even think to look at the time. And, I was also in Syracuse at a car show with my dad. So, I just, looked at my phone to see when the race was going to start. And then I was like, oh, stage 3. Whoops. So, I just watched the highlights. And I think True Love, did you actually watch it? Or I know you were as confused as I was.
Yeah, I watched. For some reason, it started at noon on Saturday, which I thought was odd timing because there was nothing else going on that day except Cup qualifying and practice. So but it was a race that happened. I mean, it was a stacked field. They had Ryan Newman made his return, Corey Heim, Chase Elliott, SVG, Bell, Hocevar, and Casey Klein, that kid, showed up too. So, and Landon Huffman failed to qualify. So.
Should have put on tour on the trunk there.
Mm-hmm. I mean, I don't really have that many notes. It was a packed crowd though for a truck race on a Saturday. Yeah. That early in the day.
Apparently, it was blisteringly hot out there as well.
I mean, you got to think, though. I mean, everybody's in town that whole weekend for 4 races, and then, we've been there, and there's nothing else to do in that area, so might as well just go to the track.
I don't know. I mean, the race was mostly about track position. Yeah. There wasn't a ton of passing until stage 3, and SVG went from 10th to 3rd. So that was fun to watch.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, he seems to have taken pretty well to North Wilkesboro.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I mean, he's not bad at any of the short tracks, really, aside from Bristol, but he definitely did good this weekend. How the hell did Chandler Smith get an 8-second lead, though? That was pretty ridiculous.
I don't know. It was just North Wilkesboro things.
The power of prayer, Bram.
Yeah. Oh, okay.
I don't think there were any cautions in the final stage.
See, that's surprising. I figured there would have been at least a couple. Obviously, Sunday there weren't many, but...
I think there's only 2 cautions the whole race.
Mm-hmm.
Stage breaks.
Besides the stage. Yeah, nothing crazy. Newman had a shitty day. Hocevar was pissing off regulars. And Chandler Smith won. Those are my truck notes.
Yeah, Hocevar and Tanner Gray got into it in practice. And he had some choice words for him, something to the effect of his daddy can buy him a new truck, which is true. That is true. And let's see here. Ryan Newman also had some pretty harsh commentary about the state of the Ram truck program. These guys really need to get together and do a lot of work. That was the gist of it.
Which really bodes well for the Cup program next year. I mean, truck guys didn't even have to fucking develop an engine. They just run, the Ilmore. So the fact they can't figure anything out with this truck program is not a great sign that Dodge is investing their money well. But they're also, again, have the worst marketing campaign in automotive history as far as I'm concerned. So.
Yeah. Rusty Wallace apparently did get approached to drive one of these trucks. And,
Yeah, what the Chris Race is out of his goddamn mind. Why would you have 70-year-old Rusty Wallace try to get in a truck? What are you thinking there? He hasn't been in a car in 20 years.
To be fair, Rusty said absolutely not. But
Yeah, I mean, of course.
I do think it might have been rigged, though, because this race was sponsored by the Faith Fest. So to have Chandler Smith win feels a little fishy.
Yeah.
Well, God gave him an 8-second lead, which was the biggest truck series lead win on a short track of all time. So, yeah, great record. Cool. Awesome.
I find that hard to believe.
Loves it.
That sounds like something Marty Smith would say on the broadcast.
Yeah. Hey, man, I'm just repeating what I heard. So.
Yeah. There's only 10 trucks in the lead lap, so just more than Sunday.
Yeah.
Yeah. Frankie Muniz continued to have he's just having a horrible year in general. He had to get taken to the hospital afterwards for what, heat exhaustion, I'm assuming?
Yeah. The heat was brutal all weekend.
Yeah.
After the race, SVG said he needed some air con.
Yeah.
What does that mean?
Air conditioning.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, the rest of the world chooses to drop those syllables out of the term.
Yeah.
Or we call it AC here in Old Glory Country, but the rest of the world calls it aircon.
Interesting. Okay. Well, you learn something new every day.
Yes, you do.
Speaking of learning things new, I need to learn who the next colleague Richmond free agent is, because I don't think I saw that.
Drum roll, please.
Elliott Sadler.
For some reason, that was my guess off the top of my head. So I guess that makes sense.
They're just rounding them all up for me, aren't they?
Well, listen, you fucking cowards. Call Jeremy Mayfield up. Put him in a goddamn truck.
Let's see it.
Then you'll have my attention.
Please. He was a Dodge driver.
He was. He absolutely was.
He was. It's definitely. Oh, man.
Although I don't know if he's even cleared by NASCAR. I don't know if that ever got resolved.
No. I really don't think so. Yeah. He's talked about it, but
yeah.
He still races super late models, so I think he could probably hustle.
He's still doing stuff.
He could park that truck right next to Minnie Terrell in 89th place any one of these weekends, I think. Yeah, Jeremy was good.
Yeah, so I guess that's it for Saturday as far as trucks were concerned.
I love how we'd rather see Jeremy Mayfield than Elliott Sadler.
I mean, yeah.
It's good. I've
always liked him more than Sadler.
Yeah, same.
I'd much rather see Hermie Sadler than Elliott, that's for sure.
Yeah, that's fair.
But yeah, so after trucks, Cup practice got delayed. They did get practice in, but they didn't get qualifying in, so they just set the field by last week. And Ryan Blaney was on the pole. Although he had to start from the back because they changed his steering rack, so that didn't really help him that much.
Yep.
And yeah, that
they
brings
played
us...
a wipeout again during the qualifying rain delay. I guess that's their go-to this year, so...
Listen, Wipeout is nowhere near as good as Most Extreme Challenge, so you're never going to try to beat it. You're never going to beat it, so
no,
whatever. So yeah, that brings us on to Sunday, and Mother Nature. So I mean, I checked the weather all week, and it was looking like Sunday there was going to be some rain in the forecast, which isn't as big of a deal at Wilkesboro or the short tracks now because they do have the rain tires. So I kind of expected those would get used at some point. They didn't, but
I was hoping for it.
Yeah, I think we all were. Even I was just listening to Dale Jr.'s podcast before, and Marcus Smith was saying he was hoping he was like, I was hoping we were going to get a little rain break in stage 3 and put the wets on, but that didn't happen. So
yeah. Well, speaking of the rain, we kind of glossed over this, but it rained a fuck ton after the truck race on Saturday, and the infield flooded, as it does. And lots of great video coming out of a couple guys rolling around in it, which is absolutely disgusting. Also, there was a video on Twitter of a guy who was just trying to ride it out inside of a porta potty.
Man, out of all the places.
Yeah, so you want to talk about your buddy Dylan at Eldora just having a normal amount of time spent in a porta potty in 90-degree weather with humidity and moisture. I'm sure that guy needed a fucking shower after he got out of that thing. Also, the Sawyer Brown concert got canceled. So, all you folks looking to hear Some Girls Do, sung by a 70-year-old in a bucket hat, you're going to have to try again later.
My dad would have been very disappointed. He's a big Sawyer Brown fan.
Yeah.
Oh, wow. Was this on Saturday or Sunday?
That was on Sunday.
That's too bad.
Yeah, it really is. Also, the Zen tent. More notes from Ken Bob here. He wanted to let me know that the Zen tent, they closed under emergency circumstances due to the weather that was coming in. But the brave kid who checks IDs at the front stood out there in the storm to tell people that they were not selling Zen at that moment and to take shelter. So thank you for your service.
I bet the Grizzly tent wouldn't have shut down if they were there.
Probably not. That brings us into the race here. Pre-race notes. True Love, you got any good ones?
Well, speaking on the rain again, I did want to mention that, on Sunday, right, like an hour and a half before the races, when it really downpoured, and I did see on Instagram, Buddy had shared a video of himself and lots of others squatting under a merch hauler to seek shelter. So, not a bad spot, I guess.
It is an overhang.
Yeah, the drainage at that place is crazy because, like, an hour and a half before the race, they're showing the infield flooded and, like, guys on pit road have water, like, up to their calves. Coolers are floating off. Like, it looked like, the Great Flood of Noah's Ark out there. And then 7:30 rolled around, they were ready to go. But one big thing that I saw discussed on Twitter a lot this weekend was that North Wilkesboro did not clean their seats before the races this year. They were like black and mildewy and dirty, so saw some pictures of just dirty butts everywhere. So bring a seat cushion or a towel, y'all.
I guess coming from somebody who goes to a lot of dirt track races, I know we all kind of do, but don't wear white shorts to these events. It's a gross place. It's outside, and there's all sorts of weird fluids and dust and rubber, and even in an asphalt track. So it's just not a good decision. I saw a lot of stained khaki out there in these photos, and they should have probably hosed them down before the people arrived, but also that's on you for wearing your golf outfit to the racetrack.
Yeah, I don't have any Marty Smith pre-race notes because I had it on mute. I did look up at one point, and Jimmy Johnson was just sitting at the desk wearing skeleton gloves, so good for him.
Yeah.
Well, they were auctioning
I have some
those
Marty.
off.
Yeah, I have some Marty notes for after the race, but no more Marty pre-race notes.
Well, I think this weekend is the last TNT race, I want to say, so this will be the last.
Where are they going
one
now?
more.
NBC?
Yeah.
Good Lord.
The NBC family of networks. Yeah, the Brickyard is the last one, I believe.
Wow.
Which I'll be sad to see him go. I enjoy having Dale Jr. on my TV, and like I've said the past few weeks, the HBO Max option is so nice. It's so nice, and I'm gonna hate to see that go away. But yeah, I really enjoyed the hell out of this race. There was a lot going on, and again, SVG coming out there and showing everybody that he has at least figured this place out. Thoughts?
Yeah, I mean, not really sure what
He
to
was
say.
a star all weekend for me, at least.
Yeah.
Very impressed both races.
Yeah, he got to the lead and he got on his radio and says, "All right, I'm leading. What the fuck do I do now?" Which I thought was great.
Yeah.
I mean, overall, the race itself, there was a lack of cautions because, the cars could run pretty much every corner of the track. They were everywhere, which was cool to see, and I'm sure it was even more fun to watch in person.
Yes.
But, that and then these new bumpers that the cars have that don't have the bracing and padding behind them, a lot of people were a little hesitant to use their bumper. Yeah, I mean, but also, too, like, not to get too far deep into this conversation now, but, like, regardless of what car was on the track, this is kind of always what racing at Wilkesboro was.
Yeah.
And like, going back to watching even, the last few races, like, not many cars would finish on the lead lap. Generally, there weren't a ton of cautions. People want old school back, and then they get it. Yeah. And, it's very the response, even from people in the media was very odd. Like, Jeff Gluck didn't like the race. And I saw, like, Letarte and Kyle Petty and other people, like, should we even come back here? It's like, we just got the track
fuck
back.
Up.
Oh, my God.
Shut up. God damn it.
I would argue that it was probably one of the best short track races of the year. And, it was an old school feel as far as, cars not being on the lead lap and whatnot, but I enjoyed it. I thought it was, a good race, and even, even though it was the Logano show, he put a dick stomping on him, and got to respect him for that. Even after the race, Denny, obviously him and Logano have had their run-ins over the years, but even Denny had to go and shake his hand and congratulate him because, he just had him beat. So, yeah, it's kind of getting ahead of ourselves a little bit because we didn't even talk about the one caution that kind of fucked everything up.
Yeah.
Sure did.
Yeah, wow. Let me ask you guys this. We'll lead into this with this question. Do we need to put Alex Bowman on concussion protocol even though he hasn't hit anything in a little while?
I mean, maybe it wouldn't hurt to double check.
Yeah. Yeah, he cleared the fuck out of himself, didn't he?
Top rope.
Yeah, trying to get to pit road, spins himself off the nose of Tyler Reddick and causes all sorts of problems. I'll be honest with you. I mean, a lot of people are trying to use this as an example of why Bowman is washed and need to get him out of the 48. I think that's a little unfair.
Yeah, I like Bowman. So.
It's his. I'm indifferent, but that's a spotter problem. That seems like a communication error. While those cars do have a giant flat screen TV inside of them, and maybe he was watching TV on it. I don't know, because that's a possibility. He was watching Wipeout or something. But still, your spotter is kind of the one that guides you in there, and I'd be curious to see what his spotter had to say as he just yanked the wheel left like he was trying to get his exit when he was about to miss it. And who else was involved in that?
Him and Tyler Reddick spun.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then, like, half the field was trapped a lap down.
Yeah. So, yeah. But that said, I do think that maybe a trip to the Minute Clinic, put a flashlight in his eyes, make sure they're not wobbling, just something. Read Dale Jr.'s book. Maybe let's think about our brains. Yeah.
It was really the only notable caution, I think.
It was. I mean, Josh Berry got wrecked, early, but that was pretty much it as far as cautions go.
But yeah, I don't share the negative feedback that a lot of people have here. This is a short track race. They're not going to capture all of it on the broadcast. I feel like they maybe could. I don't know. They have 3,000 cameras, and even Dirt Vision can give me 2 and 3 screens. So I don't know why we can't do that on a major sports broadcast. But I don't know. I don't share the hate for this that some people have. And like I said, like you said earlier, Brian, the people wanting something old school and NASCAR's attempts at trying to bring back some elements of classic NASCAR. They really nailed it this weekend.
Yeah.
With 5 cars on the lead lap, Joey Logano winning. That's not really old school, but it's been a while. And I had no problems with any of it.
Yeah. I personally don't want to see this every race. I think I'd maybe want to kill myself then, but this is fine. This was a good race.
Yeah. It's like any other sport. Every facility is different. It has its own quirks. If you want to make a baseball comparison, which I hate doing, but you go to Fenway and they have the monster. Every outfield is different in Major League Baseball. And guys play to it. And that's kind of what we see at places like Wilkesboro. And to say that we should go away from this place, like, where the fuck else do you want to add another street course? Want to take them to Raleigh and let them run around there? Like, fuck that shit. Which, by the way, I have some schedule changes to bitch about here in a second. I'm really excited to put my angry hat on.
Mm-hmm. Oh.
But yeah, that was North Wilkesboro.
Yeah.
There was a moment after the race, Logano does his burnout, and his son kind of just runs out on a hot track. And it caught me off guard a little bit because I wasn't expecting Joey Logano's son to have blonde hair and like a Dutch boy haircut.
Papa!
Was that? I was gonna say, was that one of his kids or one of his foster kids? But
that's one of his kids.
Actual kid.
The last time I saw this kid, he was an infant in a car seat in a Mexican restaurant at Martinsville. So he looked a little different. But yeah, Logano moves up to 15th in points from 17th. SVG up to 14th, and Eric Jones falls out of the chase currently. So, there was a moment in post-race where Marty was being really obnoxious the entire post-race. There was a big crowd behind him. They were all drunk and rowdy, and he was really feeding off that. And at one point, he, mid-conversation, he just turns around and starts screaming cold beer at all these drunk fans. And Dale Jr. over to the side just looked so unimpressed with everything concerning Marty Smith. And then another point, we've talked about him on the show before, but there's a guy that goes to pretty much every race, and he dresses like a leprechaun. He was in the crowd, and Marty Smith screamed at the camera guy to show the leprechaun, and the cameraman refused. So good on him.
Damn. Who else seen the leprechaun say yay?
So, and Blaney clinches a spot in the chase.
Yep.
Those are all my race notes.
Yeah, he's creeping up. He's about to be in second place. So a new contender for the title this year is approaching.
Yes, and one more point about Joey Logano. So happy this doesn't lock him into any sort of playoff.
Oh, yes. Thank God.
He will not be the champion this year. And if he is, he really fucking deserves it. So.
Well, is the Fantasy League done?
It's Fantasy League time. I'm actually excited for this segment this week.
Not me.
Yeah. Let's see. This week at North Wilkesboro, our big winner was Alan Kowicki's briefcase. Second place goes to Hell Yeah Brother, which is Andy Newsom.
Hell yeah.
And third place was Rob.
Yeah.
So a little podium finish there.
Dogs up top. Yep.
I was back in 14th, and Brian bringing up the rear in 17th.
Who'd you guys pick?
I fucked up. I had no
Elliott
faith in
Sadler
Joey.
and Ryan Newman. And
I had Chase Elliott and a bunch of other people, but I think Ty Gibbs was my best finisher. I just had no faith in Logano, but I fucked up. So yeah, that hurt.
yeah, Logano kept me alive.
Bell and Elliott too, so tough days for those two. But overall standings, Flavortown McLeod still leading. Chris Davis moves up one to second. Brian drops a spot to third. Rob holding strong in sixth, and I moved up one spot to 10th. So
Nice. Yeah, it's going to take quite a bit for me to crawl out of the sixth place hole, but
just keep getting those podiums.
Yeah. Stacking pennies. Mm-hmm. And the Corey LaJoy of this league.
Yeah, so that brings us to general notes. So yeah, IndyCar. Rob, you handle IndyCar because I know this pissed you off all sorts on Sunday and Monday. So I didn't watch a second. I forgot it was.
Well, I'll be honest. I was working. I didn't get to watch it.
Yeah, well, but bitch about Sunday though.
It's just unfortunate, man. They set this race up to happen on Sunday afternoon to feed in. So the World Cup broadcast would feed into it, and from the jump they said they were going to move this thing back to accommodate the finish of the World Cup. Which, you know what, like normally this kind of stuff annoys me, but this is literally the biggest sporting event on the planet, other than the Super Bowl, and the fact that they schedule anything at all on a Sunday around the World Cup it's a pretty big swing, and I commend them for it. I've always been one of these people who wants to see the Daytona 500 on the same day as the Super Bowl. I think that would be amazing. But obviously, weather is probably the main reason why they don't do that, and that's exactly what bit IndyCar in the ass. Their choices on Sunday were to race up against the biggest sporting event in the world in 100-degree heat, or in this case, just take a risk and hope it doesn't rain. And that's exactly what it did. It started pouring right before they were getting ready to go live, did some rain delay coverage, and then they decided to postpone the race to Monday at 3 p.m., which I don't know if any of you guys know this out there. I assume most people listening to this have jobs or obligations, but no matter where you are in the United States, that is the middle of the fucking day.
Yeah.
And there was a service call I did yesterday that I went into the house, and the race just happened to be on the television when I was in there. Nobody was watching it. TV was just on, and IndyCar was on. So I went over and took a look and saw that Joseph Newgarden was leading or some shit, and then went back to sticking my hand into a garbage disposal. But that's pretty much IndyCar. I still don't know who won. I'll be honest. Like,
it was Alex Palou.
Oh, there you go.
Yeah, it was. I mean, I had it on the background. I don't really have any notes from the race. There were some interesting pre-race notes or news stories about Will Power's dad. Mm-hmm. Apparently he had a heart attack while swimming in Australia 4 days before the Indy 500, and he just came out of a coma. So
yeah,
that's crazy.
That's awful.
Hopefully his continues to recover. And then there was that crazy hard crash in practice with David Malukas.
Yes.
Where he had a bone bruise on his right knee that ripped the steering wheel off and had to helicopter him to the hospital. But he was in the race on Monday, so...
Yeah. They had Connor Daly lined up for that ride, which a lot of people were bitching about. I don't understand why you'd bitch about that. Connor Daly's great at ovals. And he's the only guy who's approved that was on the property to go run at ovals. So he's kind of the only choice. But if that's your guy, the only one you have, that's not a bad choice to have. Only thing I did see in this race was while I was working and kind of peeking in on this, I got to watch Scott Dixon just ass pack the ever-loving fuck out of, was that Kyle Kirkwood, I think?
I think it was Rossi.
Alexander Rossi, that's right. Yeah, I think Rossi was coming to pit road, and Dixon didn't know about that, and Rossi checks up, and Dixon just sends him to space. And that was the last I saw of IndyCar in Nashville. Not surprised to hear Alex Palou won. I was going to try and let the internet tell me. I specifically chose not to look this up because I just wanted to see if Twitter or Instagram would tell me. And not a peep from my algorithm. So, as if it never happened. But again, they bet the house on this one. That could have worked if they put that on after IndyCar. And, I mean, the Indy 500 is a major sporting event that a lot of casual sports fans, like general casual sports fans, tune in to watch. And just like the World Cup is. And they probably could have got a nice little bump in ratings and really shown people how special oval racing is with IndyCars had it worked. But unfortunately, that's not the case. And I haven't seen the ratings yet, but I'm sure it'll be like a cool 47 to 100 viewers. Probably as many that were in the stands because it looked pretty sparse around there.
Yeah. Apparently the track at one point started selling all of their water for $1 because people were complaining about the lack of filling stations, and also Nashville's infamous for not allowing coolers or outside drinks. So
I just don't understand how they haven't figured that out yet.
I don't know.
Like, you've literally got 100 people on the property and there's still not enough water. Like, this has been a problem since they reopened the place. So I don't understand what the holdup is there.
Yeah.
Also, speaking of casual fans, myself learned from a caution and an interview that Colette's first name is not Kyle. I always thought it was Kyle based off how the broadcasters pronounce it, but the graphics spelled out a new name for me. It's C-A-I-O.
Cow.
So that was the most shocking part of that race to me.
I actually had an opposite version of this back in May. I was listening to IMS radio during the month of May, and they were talking about him, and I was like, wait, his name is Kyle? I thought it was some weird, like, Argentinian shit. And then it turns out that's just how you say it, is Kyle. Yeah, that's IndyCar. They go somewhere else next, and I think, is it the Freedom 250 next?
Who knows?
I don't know. We'll talk about it when it comes up.
Yep. After that, so for some reason, people are talking about the NASCAR schedule already for next year, and I guess there was a conversation. I don't know if it was Marcus Smith or somebody else was saying that they're not sure what they're going to do next year, but they said New Hampshire possibly could be a place for the All-Star race.
Yeah, they were talking about this on DBC too.
Oh, that's right, DBC. Yeah. God forbid, please don't do that. Don't.
Yeah.
Like, did you not learn from Dover that some of these tracks are not All-Star race tracks? Doesn't matter who owns them. I mean, just put it back at fucking Charlotte. Take away the second Charlotte oval date and give that to one of the other tracks as opposed to.
Yeah. Or just fix it. Just send him to Bowman Gray for the All-Star race and do the fucking Clash at Daytona like we've always done. It worked for 3,000 years. 3,000 years. Now we're talking about fucking New Hampshire. Give me a fucking break, dude. I will not be going to this if they do this. And I know that fans up here are going to be super pissed about it. They already took one date away from us, but you know what? That's fair. They had 120,000 grandstand seats there for a long time. They've halved that. And we packed the place out now with our one date a year because that's the demand. People from Canada come. And I'm sorry, people are probably not going to travel in for an All-Star race. And if they do, the only reason is because they like camping and the fucking modifieds are there. So it pissed me off when they did it to Dover, but now that my track is in the crosshairs, get the fuck out of here with this stupid, goofy All-Star race bullshit. I didn't even watch it this year. So... yeah, I just don't get it. And I guess we'll see what they choose to do. I guess Las Vegas has also been mentioned.
They said Nashville, too.
Oh,
which
Nashville. That's what it was.
Nashville could be fine, but...
But I don't think that the All-Star race... I think we've talked about this so many times now that it's not even worth really mentioning, but I think that the event itself is kind of broken, and I don't really know what we do it for anymore. It doesn't really mean anything. It's just a race everyone qualifies into it. Everyone's required to be there, and there's nothing special about getting locked in. So I don't really, I don't see why we're trying to make a traveling roadshow out of this at places that already have dates that are successful. This makes no sense.
Yeah, I mean, how many times do we need to give away $1 million a year too with the addition of the in-season challenge, which no one really seems to care about that either.
No.
Because we're coming up on the final race of that too, and it's just kind of a side note.
Yeah, so. Which, by the way, it's Todd Gilliland and
Blaney.
Ryan Blaney, that's right. I was going to say Chase Elliott, but that wasn't right.
No.
Yeah, that's a fun little distraction, but don't make the fun distraction the one fucking weekend of the year that I actually go to, please. Please.
Well, speaking of fun, the Chris Buescher Ryan Preece prank war continued to commence this past weekend with Chris Buescher wrapping Ryan Preece's new Ford truck that he gets from Ford every year from driving in like purple graphics with like flowers and camo print on the windows, and just looks absolutely insane. It's
awesome.
Fake eyelashes. And he delivered it to him at the autograph signing at Preece's trailer on Saturday. So that was amazing.
He also put Ryan Preece's IG handle graphics on there too, so people.
Everybody knows.
Know.
As if they didn't know already.
Yeah, I really enjoy this ongoing prank war between the two of them.
Yeah, it's great.
They also released a promo video today about rice bowls that I highly recommend watching.
Yeah,
I didn't see that.
Go to their social media and check out all those bowl cuts.
Well, speaking of Ryan Preece, he came in second in the Freedom 900, Cletus McFarland's event up here at Stafford. That featured Richard Childress, and from what I gather, he's still alive.
Yep,
And congratulations to Zach Walker for picking up the win.
Yeah, I think Richard finished 10th, so
Not bad. Out there in that, the real number 3 out there in that Crown Vic.
And per tradition, Bobby Dale Earnhardt brought out the first caution.
Yes. Oh, man.
That's good. Some touching news. Brexton Bush returned to the wheel at Millbridge, I think.
I thought this was Port City in Oklahoma.
It was Port City, yeah.
Okay. He returned to the track, and he won. I think this is his first win after the passing of his dad. Of course, he did the bow afterward, and then I didn't see much as far as interviews or anything, but I did see some posts that his mom wrote up saying, like, "Hey, Dad, I won," and that was nice but weird. It's just strange, but I get it.
You can't let a 11-year-old handle their own social media.
No, of course not.
No. Yeah.
But I mean, he does race. He's been racing every single weekend since then. So
He has not stopped. Yeah.
it's nice to see him finally get a win.
And he's good. He definitely learned from his dad. There's no question about that. He's got a future if he wants it.
I'm gonna lead into this next one. I did say I finally watched that Daytona documentary on Amazon in the hotel room this weekend, and there were some clips of Kyle and Brexton in there that were kind of bummed me out, and it was also a little weird to watch that, knowing that Kyle's no longer with us. So
Yeah.
but yeah, speaking of documentaries, there is a new Americana docuseries being produced by, of all people, Peyton Manning, about NASCAR, and it's going to have the first interview with Kurt Busch since Kyle's passing, and a handful. Who else is involved in this? Because I didn't get the list.
Richard Petty, Jeff Gordon, Darius Rucker.
Ah, yes.
Oh, great. Perfect. I'll watch
Really
this.
tells the story of NASCAR.
Yeah.
What is it supposed to be on?
It's on USA.
channel?
Premieres August 9th.
Okay. Yeah, I'll watch it, but
It's your rain delay filler coming up here.
Yeah, after Wipeout episodes run out.
Yeah.
yeah.
The clip I saw today, it looked good. I know I'll watch it, but
Yeah, absolutely.
Peyton Manning as executive producer definitely threw me.
Yeah.
Yep. I know you guys somebody sent the link to this middle of the week, but there's a new racing-themed THC weed beer that if anybody from that company is listening to the show, I will promote it for the rest of the season.
Yeah.
You send me a case.
Free sponsorship opportunities. Well, not free. You got to send us some, but
It's a company called Wind Cup Zone. It's related to the now defunct Wind Cup Museum. Like Brian said, it's cannabis infused. They have 2 flavors currently. One is called Last Lap Lemonade, and the other one is called Turn 2 Tea. So it launched this past weekend at Bowman Gray Stadium. So
Nice.
it's got 10 milligrams of Delta 9 THC in it.
You know, I personally would not want to drink a weed drink at a race, just because at this point, I mean, I've been smoking weed for a long time, but like, weed drinks are almost more potent than gummies for whatever reason.
Yes, they are, Brian.
And it would slow me down too much at a race in person. At home is fine, but maybe for some of the crowd, this is actually a good thing as far as some of the more rowdy attendees.
Give it to the fucking competitors.
Yeah.
Yeah, I drank a THC drink at Thompson once, and I fell asleep in my lawn chair. So.
Yeah. Little aside, so for some reason, and granted New York has legal weed now, but there was a weed dispensary selling weed at the New York State Fair car show that I went to this past weekend, and they were giving out drinks, and I thought they were weed drinks, but they, for some reason, the same company that made weed sodas also made soda without weed in it. So I immediately put that down on the ground with the pile of about 15 others that other people had also dropped on the ground. Because, why would I don't want that. So
Just tasted like weed. It didn't have any weed.
yeah, I don't. Who needs that? You know. No, thank you.
Yeah.
Some sad news. Rick Houston, formerly of the Winston Cup Scene and the Scene Vault podcast. I mean, they already had some sad news this year with co-host Steve Wade passing away.
Yeah.
But Rick announced today that he has pancreatic cancer that has spread to his liver. So some very rough news, and hopefully he gets well, because he's doing, he's been doing some great work with that podcast over the years, and also, digitizing all of the Winston Cup Scene archives, which unfortunately, even though they're finally archived, there's still some issues with the former publisher, so they're not, Rick's whole goal was to create a digital library so everybody could read these, and hopefully he can get that done sooner than later. He also has the L.W. Wright book that I know he's trying to get released somewhere, so he's got some stuff to accomplish, so hopefully he gets better and can pull that stuff off. So
Agreed.
Best of luck to him.
Yes.
Whew, what a transition to this next segment.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then finally...
Well, how about this, folks? Turn that frown upside down.
Yeah. Somebody tweeted to Kenny Wallace a mug that they had gotten, or he'd gotten somewhere. It's just
vacation. It was definitely on vacation.
Yeah, Jamaica.
It's a Jamaica vacation mug that's just got some titties on it in a Rasta themed bra, and Kenny just retweeted that. I like those big titties, which
yes.
If you've known Kenny and seen his wife, you already knew that. So.
Yep, and a heart emoji.
A frequent topic of discussion from Kenny Wallace.
Yeah, he's a tit man,
He's
that's
a tit
fine. So yeah, that wraps up the news and notes for the show, and now it's time to dive into the septic tank.
That's right, folks. We got a jam-packed one for you today. Not just because all the porta potties tipped over at Wilkesboro and they're still having to clean that up. The King's Royal was this weekend, and the accompanying high limit event at the Joker's Jackpot. 4 nights at Eldora. Can't complain about that. We were watching the Double Down Duels, which is the qualifying night for the the high limit show rather. When we were doing the show last week, Brent Marks and Corey Day picking up a win. Of course, we got to see Corey Day flipping off Gio Scelzi as he passed him for the lead, and everybody loved the shit out of that. Rico Abreu charged to the lead early in the actual Joker's Jackpot feature on Thursday night, and that was on FS1 as well. Apparently they got over 250,000 viewers on FS1, which is huge.
Yeah.
Is that where he gave an interview with that guy in the background?
I think so, yes. What was what did this guy's shirt say? Not today, liver, or something like that.
Something like that.
Yeah, that's Eldora. But in the feature, Rico Abreu Corey Day did his best Kyle Larson impersonation and slapped the fence. Corey Day had a great weekend at Eldora until he didn't. But yeah, he was super fast and very impressive. Has not forgotten how to drive a 410 over the past few months. Larson eventually got the lead, and he held it and picked up a big win on national television. I know it's probably something he needed because he hasn't seen a lot of those lately. Rico Abreu came in second, Logan Schuchart third, Carson Macedo and Brent Marks running out your top five, kind of setting the stage for the Kings Royal. Qualifying night on Friday, called the night before, which that always makes my skin crawl, but that's what it's called, the night before, KNIGHT. They love the royal medieval puns with this event. Huge wreck on lap one in the feature. Carson Macedo plowed into Brenham Crouch, collected Spencer Basin, Kerry Madsen, Buddy Kofoid, and a bunch more. They created a little junkyard in turn one. Pretty scary looking wreck, but everyone got out of there okay. But that didn't affect Corey Day, who pretty much led wire to wire and picked up a win, solidifying himself as a favorite for the Kings Royal on Saturday. Unfortunately, weather was a factor at Eldora as well. On Saturday, they had to actually move the show up to 3 o'clock, I think, or 4 o'clock was post time, which was a few hours earlier than was anticipated. They got hot laps in which Bill Baylog put on an air show and flipped his car, ended his Kings Royal hopes. And the rains came immediately after hot laps, or after qualifying, rather. So the show actually kicked off at the time it normally would. So how about that? Mother Nature likes the schedule, I guess.
Completely unrelated, I just opened Twitter, and first thing I see is a tweet from Frankie Muniz. I'm getting sick, dang. Dude just can't catch a fucking break.
No.
Life is really against him this year.
Yeah, he probably picked
Life
up...
is unfair, as they say
Yeah.
on the show.
Yeah, where do we know that from? I don't know. But Anthony Macri, of course, returning to Eldora for the first time since his back injury earlier this year. I guess that makes sense. He was here defending champion of the Kings Royal. He started from the pole, and it wasn't long before Garrett Williamson got to the front and kind of solidified himself as the favorite to win. I was very much pulling for Garrett Williamson. This will be another huge underdog victory. $200,000 plus to win the Kings Royal, and that's a life-changing amount of money for somebody like Garrett Williamson, or anybody for that matter. And he held the lead pretty much all the way till the end, with Rico Abreu and Anthony Macri scrapping for second behind him. But Macri found some speed on the top, and he managed to get around Williamson with 2 to go. And he gapped him by a straightaway, and it's like, holy fuck, this kid's going to do it again. 200 yards from the finish line, Spencer Basin slows down and kind of parks it facing the infield fence. And the caution comes out, and because of the length of the show, which is 55 laps, longer races with the World of Outlaws, and in other series too, you see this a lot in Pennsylvania, if you hit a certain amount of laps, caution laps plus green flag laps, in this case it was 60, which they definitely hit right at that moment, it triggers an open red, which means people can come out and pretty much do whatever they want to their cars. There are some restrictions, I think, but he can come out and change tires.
Screaming in the background?
I think he is.
Okay.
Yeah, let's listen to this.
I think he might have been yelling at his dog.
No.
Sorry, I was yelling at my dog.
There it was. But anyway, 200 yards from the finish line, Anthony Macri gets a sure win yanked out of his hands, or at least that's what it felt like. The crowd fucking hated this. There's a big chant of bullshit coming from the crowd. And I was joining in at home as well, because it is kind of bullshit. And I do feel for World of Outlaws as a series and the officials and all that, because this is a real rule and they do it for a reason. As this was happening, Carson Macedo ran out of fuel during the caution flag period before they parked everybody, and he got kind of screwed by that. So that was another level of disappointment for Carson Macedo fans out there. But there really was nothing else they could do here. They refused to run larger fuel tanks in World of Outlaws for safety reasons, or that's what they claim anyway. And we end up seeing this a lot in long-distance races that don't have fuel stops. So I don't know what the answer is. Maybe you make the Kings Royal longer. Maybe you let them run or larger fuel tanks. I don't know. But unfortunately, Anthony Macri looked like he might get bit by this. When the green came out, though, it was evident that God wanted Anthony Macri to win this because he just took off into the distance and picked up his second consecutive Kings Royal win. Rico Abreu picking up second, Gio Scelzi third, Corey Day fourth, and Garrett Williamson dropped to fifth from the lead. He would have finished second if not for that red flag, and that cost him about $20,000. So, yeah, rough night for Garrett Williamson, but still he still took home $20,000 for his effort, so that's a nice chunk of change. I think it's $10,000 to start, $5,000 to start, something like that. It's a big deal to make the Kings Royal, and again, I'm not an Anthony Macri fan, never have been. I've talked a lot of shit about him on this show, but I was not angered by this at all. Very cool to see Anthony pick up a win, not only 2 years in a row, but coming off that major injury and giving Casey Kane some seat time, giving True Love something to cheer for.
Hell yeah.
Yeah, he definitely picked up points here in this Applebee's, but very cool to see him get that win. They asked him how he felt as the red flag came out, and I think his exact quote was, I was shitting myself. So, God bless.
A little salad for lunch.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, Anthony Macri picking up a second in a row. King Anthony, good for him. Everyone is stoked to see that. And even people who don't like Anthony Macri. And so he'll take one back to the porch, and we'll see what he can do next year and see if he can win 3 in a row. I don't know if that's been done before, and if it has, it's been a little while. So, yeah, good stuff. Kings Royal is always must-see TV. Hold on, my fan just came unplugged, and I'm fucking dying. Hang on 1 second here. I gotta... Oh. There we go. That's much better. Lucas Oil Late Models, they had a few different events this weekend. Brandon Shepard picked up a win at Adams County. And at Shelby County, RTJ picked up a win at the Silver Dollar Nationals over Jonathan Davenport and Bobby Pierce. How about that shit?
Nice.
Yeah, RTJ finally finding some speed. And it's really difficult to say that Bobby Pierce is losing his edge because he still finished third in this. But... seemed like the rest of the field kind of had something for him this weekend. And also on the Flow Racing Night in America show we just saw where he got taken up by Miles Moose. Was not the fastest car out there. So curious to see if maybe the rest of the field is caught up. Perhaps it's just the tracks they're racing at the moment. Bobby Pierce is not washed by any means, but it's nice to see somebody else come in and take some of that money away. NASCAR Wheel It Modified Tour was at White Mountain. I did not go to this, but Patrick Emmerling picked up a win there. It's his second in a row on the tour. No surprises. Cody Overton picked up a win. We're jumping back to dirt late models now. Cody Overton picked up a win at Cochrane on the Southern Nationals Super Series, but not without pissing off Wil Herrington, who he threw a pretty an ambitious slider on and wrecked him. This caused Wil Herrington to get out of his car, run up into the racetrack, and try and do his best Kevin Ward impersonation. Fortunately, nobody got hurt. He didn't get drugged, even though he did have his arms in Cody Overton's car. And he got pulled a little bit, but he was smart enough to let go. This received all sorts of... I didn't know Wil Herrington had fans, or this many fans anyway. But people were really pissed at Cody about this, and... I saw a video on Instagram or Twitter or somewhere, somebody burning a Cody Overton shirt in their backyard. So
it's a little egregious.
Yeah.
What do I know?
Yeah, but our tarp of the week comes from one of the many Facebook posts about this. I don't even know which one this was in reference to, but professional DARF hunter James Honeycutt sent this one over. One of my favorite and a perfect example of just what a classic DARF of the week should be. This is, of course, in reference to the video of Wil Herrington getting out and almost getting drugged by Cody Overton. He says, "That could get you killed, or worse, suspended." That comes from Robert Walker on Facebook. Thanks, Robert. Your punishment is suspension.
Perfect.
Yeah, but let's see what else we had going on this week. Oh, yeah, USAC was at Winchester for the Rich Volger Classic. Briggs Danner led wire to wire and picked up a win there. That place is fucking insane. Ryan Newman was also in the field. I think he got a top five out of the deal. He's always pretty sporty in a Silver Crown car. Kind of a short car count. A little bit sad to see that. Only 14 cars signed in, but still a hell of a show, and Winchester is an unreal place. So anytime you see that come across your Flow app, make sure you tune in and check it out because, it's not meant for anybody with a soft disposition. I'll say that. That place is fucking dangerous, and Briggs entertained it this weekend. Made it this far without talking about the Cars Tour, even though they were at North Wilkesboro for a pair of races. Of course, they had late model stocks and pro late models. Caden Honeycutt won both of those, putting himself on top of the list in paved short track racing right now. That guy's unbeatable at the moment. So congrats to Caden. He looked a little worse for the wear after those races because it was 165 degrees, but he managed to pull it off. I'm sure he did at some point. Not on his fire suit this time.
Well, that's good. There's stacked fields in both of those races, so good for him.
Yes. Let's see here. I don't even know where this was. It was a IMCA stock car event, but there was a video that popped up on Facebook of a heat race, or what I imagine to be a heat race. There's about 10 cars out there, and these cars are coming to the white flag. They take the white, and the leader slows down and just pulls off the backstretch, and every single car behind him, except for last place, pulls off the racetrack. And the guy in last realizes what's going on, and he quickly pulls back onto the racetrack and picks up the heat race win.
Incredible.
I guess he also
favorite video of the week.
It's so good, and I guess that makes him the hard charger for this race as well, because that technically counts as passes. But that shit was amazing. Lots of good racing coming up this weekend. Of course, the Prairie Dirt Classic at Fairbury. Ooh, that's going to be on Dirt Vision all weekend. You better check that shit out. Falls always puts on a show, and I got to get out to this fucking thing one of these days. Unfortunately, this year is not the year. Flow Racing Night in America. They've got a couple events coming up here. Of course, we just raced at Lincoln. Brandon Shepard picked up a win as we were recording this show. They're also going to be at Fairbury this week. Southern Nationals, if you want to see Wil Herrington drag more people behind his car, they're going to be at Sonoya and Tazewell. Actually, they're at Sonoya tonight. I didn't see who won, but I imagine that's over. We'll talk about it next week. World of Outlaws is swinging up to Canada. Sprint cars are going to Oswego. They were supposed to be there tonight, but they rained out night one. Ryan Newman, also, who races fucking everything, apparently, making his first career World of Outlaws start. So that's pretty cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, I didn't know he'd never done that before. I figured he had at least one under his belt, but no, this is the first time, and you can catch that on Dirt Vision Wednesday night, so tonight, if you're listening to this on release day. High Limit's going to be at Lernerville, Ransomville, and Port Royal, little Pennsylvania trip for the boys. USAC Indiana Sprint Week stretches all the way through next week. That kicks off tomorrow night. And the NASCAR Wheel and Modified Tour is going to one of my favorite racetracks, Monadnock. That's going to be on Saturday on Flow Racing. And there's so much more going on. I skipped a bunch. Get out to a racetrack this weekend. It's peak season. And it looks like the weather's going to be a little less hot, and all that bullshit smoke that's been killing us all seems to have blown off. So that's good. Hopefully Canada's not on fire anymore. But that's it for the septic tank. We're going to go ahead and flush what's in here and whatever remaining smoke we got down. And we're going to go have some breakfast. What do you guys think?
It's good.
I ran out of air at the end of that one.
That smoke got you.
Dude, I was fucked up from that.
Yeah, Andy was touring up in New York this past weekend. He said it was brutal.
Yeah. It's not nice.
It's pretty much done here at this point, so thankfully.
Good.
All right, so now it's time for video of the week, and I picked a couple Junior Johnson videos. Since we were in his hometown,
yes.
Wilkes County. The first one being Moonshiners of North Carolina, which I don't know exactly where this show came from. I have a feeling it's something PBS related or some
PBS.
sort of local programming, because there were two commercials in it, but they were both very not very commercially, if that makes sense.
Yeah. A lot of recruiting.
But this was just a little roundtable discussion hosted by a guy named Charlie Craig, and obviously Junior.
Very small table.
Yes, a very small table in this garage full of cars. And the other guest was a guy named Guy Furr, who I guess was also a moonshiner from that area during that time period. And the show itself starts off with kind of this little goofy fake scenario of what's supposed to be like a recreation of a guy haul and shine, but it's like a clearly like 60-something-year-old man kind of just looking pissed off driving this car in the fields of North Carolina, and then all of a sudden you see a squad car, an equally old squad car, pull out behind him and kind of start to chase him, but they're going about 20 miles an hour, so not necessarily the best recreation, but for the budget this show had, it was enough.
Yeah, they did what they needed to do.
Yeah. And really, the show is kind of just a discussion of, Junior and Guy's time moonshining, and then, at least for Junior, kind of how that transitioned into a racing career. But yeah, Junior, talked about why he got into it, and, he said in Wilkes County back then, weren't really many job options. You could go work at a sawmill, but they didn't really pay much. And he said most people in that community down there were involved in the shine business in one way or another. Obviously not everybody was, brewing moonshine and hauling it, but there were other things that could be done. So everybody was involved in some way. Moonshining really was only about a decade. People started doing it in the late 40s. And by the time the 50s ended, it wasn't really profitable. And then some of the moonshiners got into drugs. Junior himself, he got busted in like 1955, not for actually hauling shine though, but for the still on his property. So that's an important distinction to make, because he never got caught by the cops driving a car. So if that tells you anything about his driving skills. He said, moonshining was kind of the best of both worlds. You're getting decent money and also getting to drive cars. Junior said it was the most satisfying thing was getting away from the law until racing came along. And obviously, moonshining prepped him to race eventually when he got there. One thing I noticed was Junior kind of kept awkwardly glancing at the camera. More than once, he caught him staring at it.
The whole time, the whole thing just felt very uncomfortable.
Yeah, it was.
I mean, yes, but that's also kind of just how Junior talks. Like, even when we get into the second video and any other video I've seen of him being interviewed as an old man, that's kind of just how he was.
I feel like he was much more in his element in the second video compared to.
Well, yeah, that's fair.
His first one.
So now we talked to Guy Furr, and Guy looks a lot like C. Everett Koop, which is a reference that no one under 40 will understand, and even people my age probably won't, but look him up.
Yeah. I do not know who that is, but my notes say leprechaun white chin strap.
He was the Surgeon General.
Yeah.
Yes, for quite a while. And he had a similar story as far as getting into moonshining. He started working in a mill as a teenager and making no money, and the money was a whole lot better hauling shine. Another production note I have is pretty much any time they cut to the host, Charlie, they zoomed in on his face really awkwardly. Like every single time. So I don't know what the hell is going on with that cameraman, but could not get just a good steady shot. Just every single time had to zoom in on his face.
I feel like it was pretty hot in that studio.
Oh, I'm sure.
Yeah, I got that vibe.
Junior also says, I don't know if it's Junior a guy that said this, but they said, you're going to get caught sooner than later, and you always wondered what it would be like. He said, at the beginning of shine running, the cops didn't have radios, which made it a whole lot easier to get away from them. But, as the decade progressed, the cops started to get radios, and that's when he decided to step out of it. He said generally one haul would be roughly 70 to 100 gallons of liquor. Usually double your money, but doing the math, he said he'd buy the cases of Shine for $12, and then he'd sell them for $35. So technically that's almost triple, but I'm sure you have to, account for your gas and all that stuff. So still more than doubling your money.
Yeah.
And also that if you had to run Shine during the day, you got paid more. So, that made it more valuable. We see our first commercial for youthforunderstanding.org, which was a student exchange program.
Yeah, you can call 1-800-TEENAGE.
Oh, boy.
Maybe don't call that number now.
Very, very weird ad to run for during a interview about, illegal alcohol. So.
Yeah.
I feel like I remember this commercial from my youth and wanting to become a foreign exchange student because of it. Thankfully, I did not. But
Junior, at this point, he talks about his first race at Darlington, which was in 1953. He said he ran an old Shine car that day, and nobody else at the time really knew about him, didn't know his history. Junior himself didn't really know much about converting the car and getting it race ready. And granted, this was 1953, so at the time there wasn't really a whole lot that had to be done other than taping up the headlights and a few other little, ventilation things for the motor. He did say that this was a sportsman race. He says he was the only car in the race running gas and everybody else was running alcohol, which I never knew. I didn't realize that they were doing that back then. But he said that while the alcohol gave him about a third more horsepower, they also had to pit multiple times, whereas Junior had a 20-gallon fuel tank and didn't have to pit once. He said he qualified fourth, and he ended up winning. And after the race, all the competitors and stuff were searching all over his car, trying to see if he had extra gas tanks, but he just had that one 20-gallon tank. Guy then tells us about how he got out of the Shine business. He said he rolled his car on a run one time. Obviously the car was filled with alcohol. And, when he woke up in the hospital, there was a cop there. And the cop said he was lucky. Somebody must have been looking out for him. And that he should quit. And he did. So that pretty much ends Guy's story. Junior told a story about stopping to help a wreck. And when they got to the wreck, turns out it was the sheriff and another patrolman. And Junior had a car full of Shine. They didn't stop him. They didn't say anything about the Shine. They just let him go. He said the local cops knew what was up. They didn't really tend to care. He said it was more the federal, cops were after him. So, again, even everybody was kind of on the take in Wilkes County, even the cops. So that was a fun little anecdote. Next commercial is for the Air National Guard. Again, weird ad, government ad, in a bootlegging story. Then he talks about his first ever race, I guess, which must have been before Darlington. This was a exhibition race during a cup race where they only had bootleggers. It was a Wilkes County bootleggers race. I guess he was asked by his brother to drive. He said there were like 25 or 30 cars in the field. He said Gwen Staley won and he got second. And then he talked about how, bootleggers, there weren't many racing legit. They all kind of started racing for fun as their cars got souped up. But he said that time was the first time he ever actually drove on the track. And he said, which this is another thing I love, he said outrunning the police was more exciting than driving in front of the crowd, which, again, I can empathize with.
Yeah, that's great.
And then from here, he kind of just talks about his little bit of history of his time in the sport. And he talks about all the drivers that drove for him. And, it's an insane list of just about every legendary name you could think of from that time period. But he said Dale Earnhardt was the only one that he never got that he wanted. He said they probably could have beat everybody else, that had driven for Junior previously had they made that combination happen. But, also the time period as to when Earnhardt could have gotten in that car was kind of after DW had won his championships and kind of when Junior's program was just starting to decline. So who knows if it would have worked out, but we'll never know. Let's see here. And they must have filmed this in the early 2000s because then Junior mentions Dale Earnhardt dying. So even though this looks like it was filmed in 1989, it must have been filmed like 2002 or 3 or something like that.
Yeah, there's an AOL.com email in the credits. So.
Yeah. They ask him who he thought the best driver of all time was, and he couldn't really pick a driver because, he says every driver who was in their prime, they were the ones to beat then, and all those drivers changed. But he said he ain't never seen one he couldn't outrun. He says he doesn't miss racing. He misses the people. And he hadn't, at this point, I don't know if he ever went back, but at this point he hadn't gone back to a race yet, which would have been 7-8 years after he sold his team. And that's pretty much the end of the program. Definitely a dry program, even nice little play on words there. But definitely fun to watch and some neat stories in there that probably have been heard before, but still nice little awkward package to pick them up in. So what did you guys think?
Awkward, yes. Dry, yes. Yeah, I mean, I've always really loved Junior's like real slow way of speaking and his accent.
Yeah.
But yeah, you could really feel the uncomfortableness in this whole program, but it's just really important that these stories, were documented and preserved and all that. So
yeah,
I appreciated that.
There's a few of these exact types of videos out there. I don't think there's any real new information in here, but it is a great interview, even if it is a little awkward. And it's definitely worth the 20 minutes.
Yeah.
But this next one, this
next one,
good
10
shit.
out of 10.
Good shit.
Yeah. So this was from PBS North Carolina, and it's just breakfast at Junior Johnson's house.
Unk TV.
This was I'd heard stories like, listening to the Scene Vault podcast, like Rick Houston has mentioned the infamous Junior Johnson breakfast forever. But this is the first glimpse I've actually had as to what they were. And the clip starts off pretty much immediately with Junior Johnson talking about the menu. Just anything you'd eat off a hog, we got it. He says it's a meat breakfast, not a sweet breakfast. There are no women to be found anywhere in this room or in the kitchen or anything. Just dudes, only dudes at this. And yeah, it's really just kind of a, Junior talks about how he started doing these breakfasts to feed his employees at the farm, because he had a farm. But they became this kind of just gathering for his friends and drivers and even fans.
Whoever,
people would just show up, and he would just serve anybody. We get clips from different attendees here. One guy says, we'll settle all the world's problems here and start some new ones if you want to. Junior tells a story about one of his employees that he said this guy was about as greasy as can be, never did wash his hands. So they made him a dog food sandwich, and he loved it. And the next day when they served him corned beef hash again, he was bitching and wanted the dog food sandwich again. So that was amazing. They briefly touch upon, the current state of NASCAR, and Junior doesn't really like the cars of tomorrow, which this was filmed in 2010. And they, mention him getting inducted into the Hall of Fame. And yeah, just... that's pretty much it. I can't believe, again, I've heard these stories, and, had I known about these 15 years ago, I would have driven down to Junior Johnson's house and had breakfast
absolutely,
with him.
100%.
That would have been one of the best, racing memories of my life, I feel like, if I got to experience that, just having breakfast with Junior Johnson and just farting up a storm, eating sausages and bacon and stuff in this garage.
There's so much meat. The salmon patties, too. I was like, hell yeah.
That's a nice little twist. Mm-hmm. Yeah, all meat, though.
Yep.
Well, he was, he did have his own sausage line at one point, and, had a farm and all that, so it shouldn't be a surprise that a farm boy like him wouldn't be serving up, pancakes and waffles and whatnot.
No.
There were a couple tomato slices and cantaloupe slices, which
Yeah, got to get a
both.
tiny bit of vegetation in there, I suppose.
Yeah.
But yeah, just a bunch of old Southern guys sitting around yapping. It's perfect.
It really is perfect.
There's one great shot of Junior's sitting on a porch swing that is inside the garage, and there's two other old men on the swing with him too. So it's three old men squeezed tight in this porch swing, and they cannot move at all, just swinging and yapping. Also, when you mentioned Junior doesn't like the new car, I think he meant to say he doesn't like the new car because it's too cookie cutter, but he said it's too cookie cake. So.
Yeah, he did say that. Yeah.
I missed that.
Yeah. I also like that they were kind of talking shit about people that would, everyone's welcome, but they were kind of talking shit about one time, like 6 or 8 people showed up unannounced, so a little Darth moment there. At the end, they said, call ahead if you can, so...
I would have been that Darth showing up unannounced.
Well, maybe not with 8 other people.
Yeah.
No, definitely not.
Yeah, this is great. Like you said,
Tremendous fun.
I would have loved to have done this. I would have loved to have.
Cool. Well, that is Video of the Week this week. So this is the last race before we get an off weekend. So dipping back into the history of monster truck racing, there's actually 2 videos this week. History of monster truck racing. I know the last monster truck video we talked about Bigfoot 8 and how crazy and illegal the design was at the time. So this race is from Dallas, Texas in 1990, and this was one of the races that Bigfoot 8 was banned from, and it's also the first time they ran a 3-truck drag race. So this is 3 lanes, and I've of course have watched these before, and this particular race is pretty chaotic, so this will be a fun one. And then also I opened up YouTube earlier, and this just popped up in my feed, and it looks insane. It is a guy called, what the hell is his account name? FishClown8393, and the title of the video is NASCAR News and Unveiling a New Diecast, and it is just this like crazy looking guy in this room of 7,000 diecast cars, and I have no idea what he's talking about. It's only 5 minutes, so it's not very long, but it looks crazy enough. I love weirdos like this, so we'll see what this is all about.
Say that username again, please.
It is FishClown8393.
Nice.
Yeah, so I'm sure this will be well worth the 5 minutes.
That guy's dialed 1-800-TEENAGER plenty of times.
Well, I have subscribed to his channel on the YouTube account, so he's got a bunch of videos like this. So we'll see what this is all about.
Perfect. What a wonderful birthday gift to me.
Yes.
Well, it's 5 minutes, so you can sit through 5 minutes.
It is your birthday coming up, huh?
It's this weekend.
Nice.
So make sure to watch this Fish Clown video that
Fish
day.
Clown. Yes. Make sure it's the first thing you do.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Really set the tone for the day.
Yeah.
So yeah, NASCAR is in Indy this weekend with trucks at IRP and Busch and Cup at the Oval.
Will we be there? Probably not.
Yeah, probably
we
not.
got our tickets.
Yes. True Love, you're not going to be there, almost definitely. Although you said there's a slim chance.
I mean, I'll be in Nashville, but that's still another 5 hours from Nashville, so...
Yeah.
Yeah.
Rob, you won't be.
Absolutely not.
I am the only one. I have the best chance of pulling it off, but I'm also like for me to do it, it is 4.5 hours to get there and 4.5 hours back.
It's got to be between 65 and 72 degrees.
It's gonna be hot. It's gonna be hot as shit, and I just don't know if I feel like doing all that at my age in one day.
But
I've done it before.
No one's going to be there. You can just go sit under the awning on the front stretch.
Well, I don't know. We'll see. There's going to be people there, but I mean, it's not going to be a full house. But
No.
We'll see. Like I said, I'm going to give it a 15% chance I go. So maybe I'll have a report. Probably not, but maybe. So we'll see.
It's going to be awesome when both of you guys go to the Brickyard 400.
The very last second.
Yeah.
That's about it. As always, you can follow us on Instagram and YouTube at meetmeatapplebees. I am Speedway Screens and all the things. SpeedwayTSJ.etsy.com is the shop, and MMA Applebees at checkout for 15% off.
Nothing to promote. Still Snake Mountain True Love. Maybe I'll share some drunk videos from Nashville this weekend.
Ooh, some woohoo content. I love that.
Some bachelorette party trolleys or whatever. I won't be on one, but
Puking off
just
the top
observing.
of Blake Shelton's bar. Yeah, RobMotes_unofficial on Instagram. I do have a show this weekend, so if you want to see Charlie Marie, and if you're in the New England area, go to her website and find out where it's at and tell me. But I am playing a show on Saturday.
Perfect.
Yeah, and I'll be at Claremont as well. We got triple features for the La Valley Building Supply Pure Stocks, and they are the most entertaining division we have by a country mile. And to get to see those fuckers go out and beat each other up 3 times instead of once, it's definitely worth the price of admission. And you can watch it on pitroad.tv. If you can't make it to Claremont, which most people can't, so it is what it is. But it's going to be a good weekend. I'm excited about it. My brother-in-law's coming up. We'll probably watch Brickyard on Sunday together, and we'll have us a nice time.
Nice. Make sure you scan your tickets before you turn it on.
He actually, and a few other people I know, they actually opted for the paper tickets, and those did arrive in the mail. So a lot of those will be sitting on shelves, unscanned. Yeah, I hope you guys make it. I hope you find the strength, and what better way to celebrate your birthday than at one of the most incredible race tracks on the planet?
Yeah, I'm just thinking about having to leave at like 6 a.m. that morning.
Yeah.
I mean, that's when I'd have to be leaving too. So, yeah.
Well, either way.
We'll see. But yeah, with that, the check is here. So thanks for joining us again at Applebee's, and we'll talk to y'all next week.